Yumi Tanaka had always felt a strange connection to the old oak tree that stood sentinel behind her parents' antique shop. The tree's gnarled branches seemed to beckon her, whispering ancient secrets carried on the wind. One autumn evening, as twilight cloaked the town in shades of purple and gold, Yumi sat beneath its dense canopy, her fingers tracing the lines of the cryptic diary she had discovered years ago. Her eyes narrowed as she reread a passage that had always puzzled her. When the stars align and the sky weeps crimson, they will come for the chosen. What did it mean? Who were they? Suddenly, the temperature dropped. Chill ran down Yumi's spine, and her breath formed small clouds in the air. She looked up at the sky where an eerie, blood-red hue had begun to spread. The stars seemed strangely out of place, aligning in a formation she had never witnessed before. An oppressive silence fell over the town, as if it were holding its collective breath. Yumi's heart raced. Could the diary's warning be happening now? Her uncanny sense told her something supernatural was drawing near. She clutched the diary tightly, rising to her feet just as the ground beneath her started to tremble slightly. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through her bones. Yumi turned around, her deep green eyes wide with a cocktail of fear and curiosity. A beam of intense light erupted from the sky, casting elongated shadows that quivered with life. The beam focused on her, and for a moment, she was paralyzed, unable to tear her gaze away. Her surroundings blurred, and a disorienting sensation of weightlessness overcame her. The world twisted and spun, then turned dark as she lost consciousness. Yumi awoke on a cold, metallic surface, bathed in an otherworldly glow. The air smelled sterile, tinged with an unfamiliar metallic scent. Dazed, she sat up and took in her surroundings. Walls of smooth, silvery texture, devoid of any clear seams or openings. The light seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. Panic welled up inside her, but she steeled herself. She had to stay calm, to understand what was happening. Remembering her vivid dreams, she closed her eyes, hoping for a vision, a clue, anything. A series of images flashed before her eyes, shadowy figures with elongated limbs, translucent with an ethereal glow, prodding and observing her as if she were an insect under a magnifying glass. She felt an overwhelming sense of dread, that she was a specimen plucked from her world and imprisoned in another. The hum she heard earlier returned, this time louder and closer. Yumi opened her eyes to see one of the figures standing before her. Its eyes were vast, black voids reflecting nothing. The creature was both terrifying and mesmerizing, a being not of nightmares, but of something far older and more enigmatic. It reached out with a spindly arm, its fingers hovering inches from her face. "Yumi Tanaka?" the creature's voice echoed in her mind, bypassing her ears entirely. "You are the key." The room darkened and scenes of her small town flashed around her, its history intertwined with sightings and stories of abductions dating back centuries. The tree, that ancient oak, stood as a marker, a beacon for these otherworldly visitors. Her family's diary was not just a journal but a chronicle of every abduction, foretelling each event with terrifying accuracy. "But why me?" Yumi thought, her mental voice shaky yet firm. "You sense the unknown," the voice explained. "The chosen resonate with the cosmic patterns that bind worlds together." Suddenly the room darkened further, and the weightless feeling returned. Yumi felt herself pulled back through a vortex of light and sound, thrust into an abyss that seemed infinite. She awoke once more, this time under the familiar branches of the oak tree. The diary lay open beside her, but now its pages were filled with previously invisible ink, detailing her own abduction. The sky had returned to its normal hue, starless and silent. She stumbled back to the antique shop, clutching the diary. The rich history of her town and her family had shifted from a collection of eerie tales to a horrifying reality. Yumi knew they would come again. After all, she was the key, forever entwined with the ancient sequences that governed these events. She would spend her days unraveling the secrets of the universe, her nights filled with vigilant dread, ever observant, ever cautious, waiting for the next crimson sky.